Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. It's our second taping on the road to lockdown. We have a couple of feuds that progressed from last week and a few that start this week as we try to continue to grow the brand it is, Impact Wrestling. Not really much else to add, so let's just get straight in it. This is this week's Impact Wrestling on Access TV. So I started off with a very cheap pop rating on Kurt Angle. But our matchmaker just really promoted lockdown, says he's looking forward to it. He confirms that he's under consideration for making a few matches within the structure, but not all of them, because they have to kind of make them feel like special attractions rather than, just every match under a cage. Some matches maybe don't warrant such a stipulation. But he's looking forward to putting on a great card, and he's so excited that Ace Austin will challenge Matt Cardona for the Impact World Championship. He promises a few surprises tonight, and he's happy with the few acquisitions that Impact have made recently as they look to boost the roster numbers and give more opportunities to workers that maybe haven't had that spotlight available to them previously. So a 76 promo from Kurt Angle. We started off with a tag team matchup, and it was the combination of Eric Young and Joe Doring from Violent by Design, who took on the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. from AEW, and it was a victory for Violent by Design in 10:03 when Eric Young pinned Griff Garrison with the wheelbarrow neckbreaker. This was a 50. Both guys are on open contracts because of Pillman's association with the NWA, I want to say. So it gives us an opportunity to, as I say, trial them and see how they do with us, if we can help develop them, and maybe over the course of time get them on exclusive written contracts. But for now, we have to focus on our veterans that we are pushing, and that is Eric Young and Joe Doring, who scored the victory. We have the X Division champion Leo Rush. He's going to come down and do colour commentary for our upcoming matchup, which was a 44 rating, and that matchup was the debut of Bushi, who we promised recently. He took on local talent Koto Brazil. There was only maybe about 8 talents that were available as local workers in game. Koto was the one that kind of appealed to me, so I was like, well, I'll check him out, see if he's someone we can potentially send down the line. Poor matchup, Bushi picks up the win in 10:23 with the Firebird Splash. He debuted the Death Mask gimmick. Words are hard. That got an initial rating of awful, and it was a 41 rating matchup. Pretty good performance though from Koto Brazil. We'll have him for the rest of the tapings, so he'll probably see some more action. But a lot of people I'm just kind of having on these kind of local deals or open deals just to see how they do, and if they produce the goods, then you never know, they could be the next Impact Wrestling superstar. Speaking of people that have come in and given an opportunity, we've also applied this to Darius Lockhart. He was in action. It was a decent matchup that saw Rich Swann pick up the win over Darius Lockhart in 7:49 with the Chicken Fried Driver. A 51 here. 62 performance from Rich Swann is very impressive, and great to see that both these gentlemen had great chemistry together, which obviously is a nice plus to find out, and that boosted their performances. So a win there for Rich Swann as he looks to bounce back from a few tough defeats. Next up we had Tenille Dashwood in action as she defeated Dash Chisako in 13:50 with the Roaring Elbow. This matchup was a 43. I feel like Tenille's someone that just should be a lot higher than they are. You know what I mean? They had such a good initial run in NXT. I was going to say WWE, but the Emma run was a bit iffy at times. But yeah, all about her. Fully on this push. Great attack previously of the champ Thunder Rosa, and she picks up the victory here to gain some momentum. So a 43 there as she defeats Dash Chisako. We then have Thunder Rosa come down. She absolutely wants to get her hands on Tenille Dashwood, and this angle, despite only having Tenille Dashwood and Thunder Rosa, seems to have a text glitch. Basically, wrestlers, security pull them apart before they get to each other, and it's basically said the security guards in this instance were all called Tenille Dashwood. So just chaos. Thunder Rosa wanting revenge from last week, but she can't get her hands on Tenille, and that is a 51 rated segment. Moving along, we had the North defeat XXXL in 7:32 and Ethan Page pinned Larry D with the spinning facebuster. Larry D being the weak link here. A 47, some more momentum for the North, which leads us to a angle where Crazy Steve and Pavel Kirkin promise to get some revenge on the North. So even though we have to use entertainment angles here, Pavel Kirkin will probably have a lot of penalties for a while because obviously doesn't speak English. So Steve will do most of the talking, but yeah, that'll probably be a penalty so far. But a 33 there as we build towards the Decay, the new Decay versus the North going forward. So interesting to see how those teams do walking up. Carl Anderson's in action next. He'll be facing Chris Hero. He talks about Chris Hero's basically being this sort of student person. He's like, well, I've been wrestling probably as long as Chris Hero. I don't know off the top of my head how long Anderson has been wrestling for, but he can just say, been to all the big leagues, whether it be in North America, whether it be in Asia. He's a heaps of experience and there's not much that Chris Hero can teach him, and he'll find that out tonight. He'll have an answer for everything. So a 45 promo from Machine Gun. Their matchup was good and it saw Chris Hero pick up the victory in 14-14 with a hangman's elbow, following a distraction from Brian Myers. 56 here, I felt these two would click really well. 54 plays a 58, and it's maybe the big victory that Chris Hero needed, thanks to the Ultimate Professional Wrestler, Brian Myers. And then that led us to our main event for the evening. It was about that had great wrestling and good heat, and we saw F.T.R. defeat the Motor City Machine Guns in 14-16 when Cash Wheeler pinned Alex Shelley with the Shatter Machine or Big Rig, because during the matchup we had Chris Sabin turn on Alex Shelley. Alex was off his game. A 63 here for our main event matchup. You're probably wondering, that was very sudden, that was very quick, and why? We'll elaborate. First we'll have the change. He's cocky, it's one segment. Complete success. Perfect. I wanted to finish the show, just Chris Sabin just annihilating, beating down Alex Shelley to the mat. A 43. Finish the show. We get a 60. Popularity of 34 regions. Now let's touch on that angle. So my reason for basically doing the term, I don't feel my X Division has enough wrestlers. I seem to be missing out the Guns a lot with booking. They are part of a very bloated, a very talented tag team division. And when I think of Prime TNA, I think of cocky arsehole Chris Sabin. I think of Alex Shelley as a singles competitor. So they're an incredible tag team, but I just feel both of them will really benefit as singles wrestlers, giving me quite a bit more depth to my X Division. And with the age of them, I think one's 40, one's 38, they can work with younger talents down there. That's more so because the tag division is stacked, and I want to flood out my X Division, and maybe I want to live a wee bit of Impact or TNA's past. So overall, short show, but pretty good. We gain the pop that we need to gain. We don't even need to use our heavyweight contenders. We're still to use in these batch of tapings Moose, EC3, Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan, so we'll work them into plans. But you can see a few matches that we've got going forward. The championship match, F.T.R. obviously will be in action against Enzo and Big Kaz. And there's a few other storylines progressing, including the Decay versus the North. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And yeah, hopefully, maybe even just watching this, you maybe find the wrestler you weren't too aware of, and end up signing them on your own save. Because there's been plenty of times there's wrestlers I haven't a clue about. I've discovered them through TW, and after that I've continued to follow their work in real life. So cheers for watching. Take it easy. See you for next taping. Bye bye.